Hi, I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks, and I just wanted to say that yes, we are still here. I have not done a video since February. I don't really have an excuse. I have a little excuse. I was sick during the month of April, and that was probably due to the fact that I traveled. 2 days later, I did a Lego event that was around a bunch of kids, and then I was sick for a month, and I had a cough for 2 months. I'm just finally getting my energy back and felt like, okay, maybe I need to start working on the business a little bit more. I also got a message from somebody who watches these videos, and he made an order the other day with a note that said, waiting for a new video. So here it is. We haven't been really active with our business. We've been letting it just run itself. We're handling orders as they come in. My husband has been working on getting parts in a lot more than I have. I did not upload anything during the month of April, and I can't remember the last time I went a whole month without doing at least one upload. And I did a few more in May. Here it is, almost the middle of June. I've done one, which I just did a few minutes ago. So I have not actively been working on my business, and I think it shows. Our sales are down a little bit. We had a month at the beginning of the year that was probably one of the lowest months we've had in the 11 years we've been doing this. And I'm curious if you guys would put in the comments if your business is as slow as well, or if it's just because I haven't been actively working on my business and making sure that I'm getting new parts in, or making sure that I'm keeping up with the inventory. Although we've had quite a few parts in our store, more than we normally do, and things have still been slow. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, if it's the economy, if it's just that we just don't have the parts that people want, or maybe the cost of shipping is astronomical. I cannot believe that a little tiny package is now costing me almost $6 to mail, because when I started this business, I think it was like $2.50, and I thought that was a lot. I think that may be part of it too. That would be another discussion. I'll probably do a separate video on that, asking you guys how you're handling the shipping, and if you're giving free shipping, if you're doing discounted shipping, or if you're just going with whatever is recommended. Even though I haven't done a whole lot, I have recorded a few things since February about what I've done in my store. I'm going to go ahead and throw those on there now. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch my video. I would promise that I would start uploading more regularly, but every time I do that, it seems like there's an even longer gap between videos. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Plus, it's coming on summer, and we're going to be going camping and spending more time outside, so probably won't be as many videos. But we are still here, and we're happy to be here, and we are just glad that we still are part of the Lego community. So I'm trying to get back in the swing of not only working on the Lego business, but also filming little videos for the vlog. So just to kind of get you updated, I am currently working on a small Lego haul that I got, I think December of 2023. Yeah, I'm that far behind. And I have been working on this on and off for a while. I am now working on the curved slopes and the tiles, modified tiles, round tiles, all kinds of tiles. There isn't a lot to this. It wasn't a very big haul. It was just a box of random Lego that I picked up at a thrift store. It is turning out to be a pretty good Lego haul. So far, I have put in 1,700 parts for a profit of $93. So it's going pretty good. I just have a little bit left, and I will be done with this one and can move on to another one that's been sitting around my shop for quite a while. This morning I did film a Bricklink Lego haul video. This was just the paperwork for it, but there were some extra parts, and so I need to contact the seller to see if these are just freebies or why these parts were in with my order. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I have another Lego event coming up. So I had some professional flyers made up. I only had about 150 of these made up. On the front is all my business information, and then on the back I talk about what Bricklink is, so in hopes that people will visit my store, but if not, maybe they'll visit your store. Just a little bit more. This is what I have left of that thrift store Lego haul. Like I said, it's not very much. It looks like there's a lot of windows and stuff in there that still needs to be put into inventory. I also have a bunch of round plates sorted so that I can get those in as well. This was something I did during a very boring work meeting. I was able to listen and get all of these sorted. And of course, there's still all of those to kind of go through and pull out the little flowered petaled ones. And those are just all of the 1x1 round plates. So that's going to take me a while to get through those. The other thing I want to do is we had placed a Lego order recently, and there was a couple of the freebies in here that we'll probably never put together. So I'm going to post these on eBay along with the city advent calendar. I have quite a few advent calendars, and this one just really didn't have a lot of actual Christmas themed parts in it. I guess I consider each day a set. So each of the sets, there wasn't too many that were actually Christmas themed. So I'm going to go ahead and resell this on eBay as well. In fact, this is still partially new because I think the 19th through the 24th hasn't even been opened. So last year I did not buy a lot of Lego. I think the Lego that I did buy were from friends who reached out to me and said I have Lego to sell, and a couple of friends who found some pretty good deals on Facebook Marketplace. And I had another friend send me a post the other day from Facebook Marketplace about $45 worth of Lego. And there's some partial sets in here. I'm going to see how much of this fire station is in there, and if it's not too much money to get the minifigs and the instruction books, I may resell that on eBay. We'll have to wait and see. There's a bunch of different little parts in here. He said the Friends set, there's a Friends set somewhere that he thinks has just about all the parts for it. So that was one box. That wasn't the only box. There was another box of just miscellaneous parts, and this is a pretty good sized box. So there's my hand, kind of give you an idea. And I got all of this for $45. So I'm almost positive I'm going to make a pretty good profit on this. And last night, the same friend sent me another link from this same seller who had $35 worth of Lego, which I said, yes, I'm interested. And he said, great. And then I went and looked because I thought if he had these two, maybe he had more. He had a lot more. I did end up asking him for 27 pounds of Lego for 90 bucks. So the $35 and the $90 haul I will be picking up Monday night. And I think I'm going to be good for the year. I am so far behind on putting stuff into inventory. I really shouldn't be buying anymore. But when you come across these good deals, it is so hard to pass up. I'm looking forward to getting into these boxes and seeing what all is here. Generally, I will just break these apart. If there's any unique parts or parts I've never seen before, or parts I know are sell well, I might pull those out and put them in the store right away. Otherwise, this will go on hold until I get the other 10 Lego hauls I have out there done. So this was the fire set. I broke it down a little bit just so I could fit it into this container, but I did a little research and this was the set number. I love it when they have vehicles because if there's a license plate, you can easily find the set number. And it is missing 6 minifigs and the instructions. And the minifigs are like anywhere from $1.20 to $1.75 each. So at most, I'd be paying $12 for minifigs and $2 for instructions. And this set sells for $78. And I paid $45 for the entire Lego haul. So I think I'm definitely going to look into getting the minifigs and the instructions, making sure all the parts are there. I might have to buy some parts here and there, but I think this would be worth reselling on eBay. There is this little friend set. It does look like everything's there, but this set, it sells for $5.50, and if I part it out, it's like $16. Here's the thing, if you part it out, you have to sell every one of those parts to make your money back. So I am thinking about just breaking it down and selling it as a set just so I can move the parts, basically. This one, I was going to break it apart because it didn't look complete to me, but this is pretty much complete. It is missing the little driver for it. It's a wrecking ball. It's missing the driver, which is $6. There's a pattern part that I believe goes on this side that isn't on there, and that was like 50 cents. The instructions were about $2. And this sells for $31.50. So this is another one that I may look into just getting these missing parts and sell it on eBay as well. I did dump out all the parts, and there is just a bunch of miscellaneous parts in here. I don't think there's any minifigs. Well, there was one that I found, this older generic minifig, but I didn't really see any other ones in there. I'm hoping once I break down all the parts that are in here that I might find some of the minifigs for the firehouse, but I'm not going to be upset if I don't find them. I am getting another haul from him, like I said, and one of those hauls has a bag of minifigs, so I'm wondering if maybe some of the firehouse minifigs might be in that. That's my hope anyway. But like I said, they're pretty generic minifigs for the firehouse, so I don't think it'll be hard to get those. Might be a little bit harder to find all of the instruction books because there's 4 or 5 instruction booklets, and sometimes it's hard to find somebody who has all of them. But we'll look into that. It is Valentine's Day. My husband and I are going out of town for the evening. I'm not going to be able to do much with this. Plus, I have a large order I need to double check, and I have a smaller order I still need to work on. But not only is it Valentine's Day, but it's a long weekend due to President's Day. I should have plenty of time to get all that stuff done before I go back to work on Tuesday. I have a bit of a mess. I was saying I wanted to keep that one fire station and resell it. And as I was going through all these parts, I started pulling to see what I was missing, and I kept coming up with a ton of missing parts. I also came up with a bunch of parts that weren't in the set. So I started to get a little confused as to why there were all these extra parts and a whole bunch of missing parts when I realized there was actually 2 different Lego sets. There's also this one, 7945, which is also a fire station, all the same colors and everything else. The set I was going to rebuild was 60110, and they're very similar in color. They have basically the same type of fire engine and fire car and that sort of thing. Then it came down to, do I want to waste my time trying to rebuild 2 sets, which are missing all the minifigures and the instructions? And the answer came up, no, not really. If I had more time to do that, I would love to be able to rebuild sets to put onto eBay, but right now I barely have time to put parts into inventory. So I'm going to just be parting this out and putting everything into my inventory. So if somebody is looking to rebuild one of those 2 sets, I should have most of the parts probably for it. I was really busy yesterday. I actually uploaded over 3,000 parts into my store. One of the things I finally got done was a haul I bought in December of 2023. I finally got through all of those and put those in. You can see it was a pretty good profit of $136 on $50 that I paid for it. This came from a local thrift store. So this wasn't too bad. The last couple of uploads didn't have any good parts or didn't have any unique parts in it. There really wasn't anything over 50 cents in either of those hauls yesterday. The other thing I did was upload from my containers behind me. The other two uploads were from my massive sort that I did. It looks like September of 2024. I was able to do two uploads. One of those was over 2,000 parts. That was all the 1x1 round plates. I had a ton of those. I was finally able to get those uploaded. And you can see this one, because it's a mix of all my eBay auctions, I have no idea what I originally paid for it, but my approximate cost was probably about $350, and right now my profit is over $500. So I seem to be doing well on that. I'm still working on that massive sort, but in the meantime, I am doing another sort of some parts from a Lego haul that I got January of 2024. This was a pretty big haul. I spent like $650 and got a bunch of partial Star Wars sets, most of which I've been able to build out and resell. There's still a couple we're waiting to get some parts for. There was also some Technic sets in there that I've been able to sell as well. But I'm finally getting around to sorting through all the miscellaneous parts and getting those into inventory. So I'm just getting started on this. I'm going to be sorting out bricks, plates, plate modifieds, plate rounds, and slopes. And I may also pull out the wedge plates because there's quite a few wedge plates in here as well. So that's what I'm going to be working on this morning. Good morning. I just have a few more minutes before I have to log in to work, but I thought I'd start sorting a few more parts. Obviously, I am now sorting inverted slopes. I've got a little bit sorted out, but I still have all of this to go through. I've also been working on all of these here. This is all part of a Lego haul I got, I think, January of 2024. There was a bunch of Star Wars sets in it that I've already put on eBay and sold. These are the miscellaneous parts that were left. I've been working on this in between working on my huge Lego haul, which is, you know, these containers here. So I have been busy. I just haven't recorded a lot. Business was really good in February. We had a really big order, one of the biggest orders we've ever had in our store. So that helped a lot. This month, there's been quite a few little orders here and there that have kept us afloat, I guess you would say. So business is okay. We haven't put a lot of time into it, but we have been working on things here and there, just not spending a great amount of time on the business. We're hoping to change that, but we've got a lot of other stuff going on. So it's just hit or miss when we can get out here and put parts into inventory. If you don't have your friends looking for Lego for you, you really need to start. I have several friends that send me Facebook Marketplace posts when they see them. And my friend yesterday sent me a link for some Belleville Lego parts. I paid $20 and I got all of this. Now the minifigures are missing their arms and hands on one side, but other than that, they look pretty good. I got all of those parts plus all these miscellaneous parts for 20 bucks. I'm really hoping that just this here will get me my money back, but I was pretty excited. I've bought from him before. This is probably the fourth or fifth bulk of Lego I bought from him. I am picking up another box of 12 pounds of bulk parts from him tonight. So I've gotten a lot from him. He's also got another big tub for $120, but I just can't afford that right now. I'm very excited to get these into inventory and see if I got a good deal for this, or if maybe I didn't. So we'll find out. I'm going to work on this weekend and I will let you know how it comes out. I finished putting all the Belleville parts into Brickstore. I'm just getting ready to upload. There were 315 parts and 99 lots. I did pull out a lot of the bricks just because they either needed to be washed or were scratched up, so they ended up in my filler box. Of course, there were quite a few good finds. The little minifigures were missing like part of their arm and hand, both on the right side. I don't know what that's about, but I marked those down 33% and also said what was wrong with them. Those were the two most expensive. There was some light green base plates, this light violet staircase, this cradle, tree, horse blanket, just all kinds of stuff that was over $1. I ended up with $76.55. I paid $20 for that lot, so if I sold everything, it would be a profit of $56, which is pretty good. I am sorting all of this into these categories here, which are minifigure utensils, panels, bricks, round and cones, tiles, modified tiles and round tiles, sloped curves, and wedge plates. So that's what I am sorting out today. Anything that doesn't fall into those 5 categories goes into this bucket. Yesterday I purchased another bulk Lego off of Facebook Marketplace. This was 12 pounds. It's a pretty big box. I haven't really gone through it just because I really don't have any place to put this if I dump it out. But I do kind of want to go through it and break everything apart and really see what all is in there. I bought from this guy before, so pretty trustworthy. I didn't even look in the bag. I knew that it was going to be Lego, or at least 95% Lego, so I wasn't too worried about it. I would like to go through this and just kind of get an idea what's in there. Pretty sure it'll be worth it. I paid $45 for the 12 pounds, so I'm sure I'll get my money back and then some. I finished sorting. I have my plates, my slope curved, the tiles, panels, round bricks, and minifigure stuff. And of course then I have stuff that I should have pulled out earlier and stuff that needs to be washed and non-Lego parts. So this is all I have left of my massive sort that I did a couple of years ago at this point, but I am still working through it. Now I just need to sort all of this and get it into inventory. I just did another upload, and this was a small one. It was just 208 parts and 107 lots for $29. There was one good piece. There was a wedge plate that's worth over $2. And all of this is part of a Lego haul that I got in January of 24. And we've put quite a bit in, but mainly it was the Star Wars sets. Most of this was Star Wars sets that we have made sure that all the parts were there and resold on eBay. So far on this one we paid $650 and we've made a profit of $1,100. This one has definitely been good. This is what is left of that. I have some of it sorted out, but I still need to get all of this into inventory, and that's all of that same Lego haul. But the best part of all of this is we now have 133,826 parts in our inventory, and this is the most that we've ever had in our store. Now I'm going to go work on a 200 part order and get that pulled. I did not do any uploads in April. I was gone the first week for vacation, and then I was sick the next 3 weeks. And I'm just now starting to get over everything, so I have not done any uploads, any inventory. The only thing I've done is help with the orders, but generally my husband's been pulling them and I've been just doing the shipping labels on them. I'm feeling a little better, so today I decided to finish out this Bricklink file that I started back in March, and I finally have 100 lots in it. I just wanted to share because there was a couple of good finds. There was a Technic brick for $3, a modified brick for $2, and a hinge or arm piece for over $1. There was quite a few good things in there. This one upload is going to be $51.54 for 374 items and 100 lots. I am about ready to do another quick upload. This will be 399 parts and 101 lots for $33. There are a couple of good finds. There's a couple of minifigure items that are over $1 and a couple of shields, which usually sell fairly quickly. I'm a little concerned about this flat dark gold. I'm pretty sure it's flat dark gold, but there's also light brown. I'm hoping this is flat dark gold and not the other color, but I'm pretty sure it's the gold. I have that one in my inventory as well. I'm probably not going to be able to do much more this weekend because we are going away overnight and I have a bunch of stuff I have to do tomorrow, but at least I'm getting back into the swing of adding things into inventory. I actually had some time today to get some parts into Brickstore. I'm going to be uploading 453 parts and 101 lots for $52. There were quite a few good little finds. There was some Technic pins and connectors and things like that that were over $1. So that's always a good find. I'm kind of excited to finally be getting back into doing inventory. I didn't do any inventory in April, so anything I do this month will be an improvement. So I thought I was getting a good deal. I had somebody message me, send me a picture of 6 Bionicle sets. They didn't have the instruction manuals, but looking at the pictures, all the weapons were there, everything looked good. I went ahead and made an offer of $55. So I thought it was a good deal because I could sell them either on Bricklink without the instructions, or I could order the instructions and sell them on eBay. And if worse come to worse, I could part them out and I would still make a profit. I got home with them. They were really dusty and dirty. I took them apart. I got them all washed. And today I attempted to bag up the parts so that I could sell it on Bricklink, only to realize that he replaced parts with parts that are not as expensive and don't go with the set. There was color replacements. There was one that wasn't even the right part that he replaced. There were parts missing from sets that I didn't realize even as I was taking them apart. Some of the heads were incorrect, weren't the right colors. I got a little discouraged, but I thought, no biggie, I'll go ahead and just part it out and I'll at least get my money back. No, I did not. I paid $55 for these 6 Bionicle sets. I'm going to be selling the parts for $40. That's the best I can do. I lost $15 on this deal. I'm a little nervous now because we bought a bunch of the large Star Wars figures, and a couple of them are supposed to be worth quite a bit of money, such as Boba Fett, and I think one of the stormtroopers are worth quite a bit of money. And now I'm really, really worried that I may have messed up and overpaid on those as well. But when you're doing a transaction in a parking lot, you're just glancing over everything, making sure everything looks good, and making sure that what they said was there was there. and he did send me a picture, but you can't see like the pins that are in it or the color of the heads and that kind of thing. So I didn't know, and I wasn't going to stand in the parking lot, bring up Bricklink and take them apart to make sure everything was right. I'm not happy. I'm a little mad at myself. I'm not mad at him. It's possible he didn't realize that these were lesser parts he was replacing it with, but those parts will be in my inventory. There were a couple of parts that were over $1, which I'm thankful for, but the parts that I needed were also over $1. So I'm a little disappointed there.